In this video, I'll show you how to move a lot of layers at once in After Effects using null objects. This is going to be super useful in your Kinetic typography assignment because this will help you create transitions between compositions. So for this example here, I have a pre-made composition that has some animation going on. I only have 3 layers working, but this works with any number of layers that you want. So what we want to do here is I have this animation that comes in, and eventually I'm going to want to move all of this stuff off the screen. So instead of animating each individual layer itself by moving it off the screen, I can create a null object layer to move all of them at once. So here's how we would do that. You would take your composition and you're going to go to Layer and you're going to click New and you're going to choose Null Object. And it'll put this empty box on the screen. A null object is just essentially nothing. It's just an empty layer. But what we can do is we can animate that layer, and that layer can kind of pull the other layers around. So the first thing we need to do is we need to go down to our layers here, and under Parent, we want to parent any of the layers that are going to be controlled by the null object to it. So if I want animate null objects, these 3 layers to get moved by null object, I need to go to Parent here, and I can either select it in the drop down list, null 2, or I can click these little whips and just pull the arrow right to null object 2. And when I do that, this null 2 is the parent of these layers. And so when I move null 2 around, it will move all those layers around as well. So if I go to the end of my animation like this, if I want to animate this text to come off the screen, I can go to null 2. I can go to maybe position and set a keyframe here. And then maybe 10 frames later, I want to pull it off the screen. So if I go down 10 frames, I can grab this and I can, oh, I'm scaling it. But if I can grab it and move it with the move tool, or I can move it with the coordinates here, I can animate that all the way off the screen. So now with just 2 keyframes, I was able to move this whole thing off the screen. I can also do some of that little anticipatory animation by, like, maybe coming in here, and I can say, you know what, I want you to move up a little bit before you go off the screen. So it can go just like that. So I can press spacebar and we can watch that happen. We can also add easy ease to all these keyframes, just like this. So null objects lets you animate or move or kind of group a whole lot of layers at once.